All right, let's get started. Obviously, you must get tons of questions about if you fought in this era, what would happen about this, what would happen about that. We know you're getting all those questions, and unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to take it, I got one of those questions for you.
Yeah.
Even given your popularity back in the day, how much more popular would you have been in this era, given the social media outlets that we have now, the websites, and just YouTube, all of that stuff? How much more popular would Ray Leonard be today?
It'll be outrageous, totally outrageous. I mean, you couldn't even fathom because of what social media has created, has done. It'd be crazy.
I got you.
So you think about so many people now, I mean, and things happen in not tomorrow, but like 2 seconds afterwards or 2 minutes afterwards. So things, I tell you, be multiplied thousands of times.
Now, another question that I was dying to ask you, because I saw the special on ESPN, the 2020, I believe it's called, with Roberto Duran. Beautiful show, beautifully well done. I have to ask you, now, did you really carry all of that inside you for all those years? Because fighters will, have performances against other fighters, and, someone will say this, someone will say that. Fighters always make excuses after they lose, and I'm sure fighters that have lost you have made excuses, and nothing has stuck in your craw, or at least after watching the show, it seemed as though nothing had stuck in your craw more than this. Why did this man, this situation with this man, I should say, trouble you so much?
Well, it didn't. I didn't care about it for 40 years, but naturally, as an ex-fighter, athlete, whatever, you want to know. You still want to know. I don't care if there's 100 years. You want to know. You want to hear from him. You want to hear from that person. So did I make you quit? What happened? What exactly happened? Tell the world what exactly happened. But that's also could be a selfish part of me. Want to hear this man fall down on his knees and say, you freaking frustrated me. You made me mad. I threw my hands up in frustration. That's what I really wanted to hear. But the man inside of me, the person that's inside of me now, said, hey, you know what? You say you had cramps? Then so be it. And that's what happened.
I got you. Now, same thing with Hagler. To this day, does Hagler still say that he feels he won that fight? Will he concede at all?
Now what you ask me is so right, because Hagler, just like Joe Frazier, he carried it with him. He took it personal. Hagler blamed me for his loss, and I try to get both of us, or even the four of us, Hagler, Hearns, Duran, and myself, go on the tour, do things, and talk about these things, because the public want to know, especially those fight fans back then, baby boomers, they want to know. Is it a close fight? Yeah, it's a close fight. Could it went either way? Yeah, possibly. Depends. It's so subjective. It depends on how you see it. Was Hagler aggressive? He, without question, was aggressive. Was he effective aggressiveness? I don't think so. So it depends. I think it's a wonderful thing, and that's what made boxing back in those eras.
Yeah, you could ask 10 people who won that fight. Yeah. Maybe I'm a little biased, but I watched it about 20 times, and I always scored it for you 7-5. I just think that he made a tactical error in the way he came out. And were you surprised? That's another question I have for you. Were you surprised at his tactics in that fight? Trying to outbox you, trying to fight you orthodox.
I made it. I got into his head. The thing I remember, and the press tour, I should say. If you go back and see some of the articles and whatever, I never see anything that piss him off, because I did reverse psychology, because Hagler creates this aggression with his opponents all the time. He gets so mad that he goes to camp with that attitude. Whenever I got to the podium, I say, this man's a great fighter, and you don't give him credit for being a boxer. You always think he's a slugger. I kept saying it, and the last thing Hagler said at the very last press conference, He said, you know what? I may surprise everybody. I may outbox Ray. Because I've been out of the ring for so long, people just thought I lost when I lost. But in saying that and convincing him, you know, he tried to, because he came out orthodox. And I mean, not saying if he came out left-handed, it would give me. I would have taken more time to get to feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
I got you.
But coming out orthodox gave me an opportunity to kind of, wow, thank you, Marvin.
Yeah, that was a gift.
It was a gift. Yes,
that was a gift.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It gave me time, and he didn't press me at all.
Absolutely.
Until late.
Now let's talk about your preparation for this fight, and please correct me if I misquote anything or get anything wrong about this, but I heard, to my understanding, that you did spar with Quincy Taylor, who was a southpaw back then, who was a WBC champion, future WBC champion.
Right.
Is it true that you did spar him without headgear on, and you had a real fight with him, and you had 8-ounce gloves? Is that true, or is that a rumor?
I did that with a number of middleweights. I did that.
Okay.
I put on big gloves, 14-ounce gloves, sparring gloves, and I had them put on 10-ounce gloves, and with headgear. I had no headgear because I made sure that I felt, I made sure that I remember what it felt like to get hit.
I remember you said that you wanted to do that. Exactly. Admittedly, you've said you haven't always taken care of yourself. Now, were there times when you felt as though maybe I entered the ring and you didn't have it all?
I got it. No. The thing about it, I got in amazing shape.
Okay.
My head didn't coincide with my heart. You know what I mean?
I got you.
At that time, at those times in my life, I was going through, my marriage was decelerating, and things, your kids, you miss your kids, and life is not as sweet as it may appear to be. So you to be a fighter, when you're young, you can block that shit out like most of the time.
Absolutely.
When you get older, because you care now, and you care a little more.
Yeah. Things are more precious to you now. The little things mean more. Yeah.
Exactly. It means more now.
Yeah.
And I don't care who you are. If you have a heart, it's going to affect you at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, in my opinion, I would say Tommy Hearns would be your toughest opponent in your whole career. Do you agree with that?
Without question.
Okay.
I mean, Tommy Hearns, that man, and that's our first fight, and that's what I'm talking about. That last 12 rounds, I think it was 12th round, I got off the stool, and it was that moment that defined who I was. Really defined. It was the first Durant fight, but also the first Hearns fight that made me say, you want to do it? Let's do it. That's when you're challenged. That's when people say, that's when your heart or your mind says, all right, you want to show how great you are? Show them now. No matter how tall you are, no matter how badly your left eye is closed or hurt, no matter how tired you are, that's what separates the men from the boys.
Well, I got one last one for you before I go, because
Sure.
I have the answer to this question, and in my opinion, in primes, I think that you would beat Mayweather. I think it would be a tough fight. You could fight 10 times, maybe you would. In my opinion, you probably win maybe 8 out of the 10, in my opinion. But I just want to say one thing, because I've posed this interesting question to other people, because this is one feather in Mayweather's cap that I think that a lot of fighters don't have or haven't had. Maybe Bernard Hopkins may be the exception to this. Let's take a 37-year-old Mayweather and put him against maybe a 37-year-old Ray Leonard, a 37-year-old Tommy Hearns, a 37-year-old Benitez, or a 37-year-old Duran. How does that play out? Because I have to give Mayweather credit for his longevity, and obviously...
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
And that's a very good question, and that's a very valid question. At that age, being the fact that, I didn't take care of my body when I was out hanging out. When I wasn't fighting, I was out there in the street. The thing about Mayweather, from what I hear, he doesn't drink, smoke, or anything. He just do what he does. I don't think, and Tyler Hearns doesn't drink or anything. It's the ones that live another life, you know? And rightfully so. We deserve that. We train, we work hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be interesting. The outcome would be whose night it is at that night, at that particular moment at 37. But 37, first you guys can get in that ring at 37 and look sharp.
Okay.
You with me?
I'm with you, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you completely. All right. It's been great talking to you. Is there anything you want to say to your fans? Anything that else you want to talk about or promote or anything?
Man, I've always said this to my fans. You know what? I had the best. I had the best, and still do have the best fans. And they've taken me from good times. They've seen me with good times, bad times, and come back good times. And I just thank them.
Okay. Well, Ray, thank you so much for your time. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And this is probably one of the highlights of my life because you are my favorite fighter of all times, and I tell people that all the time. And, thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
Take care, man.
All right, thank you.